Hi everybody, my name's Traci Cornelius. I'd like to welcome you to Get Creative with Traci. So this is April's monthly technique class, and I said to you that project 2 was going to be this really cool one sheet wonder mini album. But I jumped ahead because we'd already done the one sheet wonder cards where we made 11 cards, and then we're going to make this fab little box for them to go in. So this is a variation of a box that I made many years ago when I was with Party Craft. I think the video tutorial is actually still on YouTube somewhere. But this one, we're actually going to make the basis of a box. And the inspiration for the decoration for this one came from Kelly Gettelfinger, who is another Stampin' Up demonstrator, very talented. And I loved the way that she made this ruffle kind of trim and the handles. So that's where the inspiration for that came from. So to make the basis of our box, you need a 12 by 12 sheet. So in our cards we used crumb cake. This one is soft suede. I quite like to have a bit of a contrast, but if you want to do it exactly the same colourway, that's entirely up to you. It's all down to personal preference. So the first thing that I'm going to do is do some score lines. So I'm going to score it at 3 inches, straight the way down, and then I'm going to score it at 9 inches. And again, you just want to score that all the way down. And then you're going to fold those ones into the centre. So taking your bone folder, just burnish those creases as well. And then bring your trimmer back in, and you want to score it at 5 inches going down. And then again at 7 inches. And then if you open this out and then fold those lines, and we're just going to crease that down, but we're going to put more of a emphasis on creasing the outside sections rather than just the middle. Do exactly the same for the other end. And this then makes the basis of our box. This would be the centre section for the bottom, just here, and then these are our sides. So when we come to make boxes such as this, your next section is you need to take the ends and you're going to have to fold them inwards. It's a little bit difficult to explain, but the best way to do it is taking the edge of your card and push it in, and then take our score line, and you're going to match the score line up with the edge of where the box side is going to be. And once you do that, you see that you've got a diagonal inside, and just take your bone folder and then crease that down, and repeat the process on the other side. So you're taking it, you're pushing the side in, and then you're taking the score line that you've got and you're going to match it up to the edge of the box. And then you can just take this edge, match it up, and once it's matched, you can crease the line and just go over with your bone fold. And just repeat the process again on the other side. Like so. And again for the last one. Just making sure that the corner really kind of comes out. It's really important as well that you match up the edges, otherwise the folds of your box aren't going to stick very well. Okay, so this is actually genuinely our box. Which is really good. The one that I made previously was a bag, and you can easily change this into a bag as well, and I'll show you how to do that in another video. So taking this one, you then want to use, using sticky strip is probably the best thing to do. So just going to take my sticky strip, and I'm going to be popping some adhesive basically along the edges here so that they can adhere down. And this is really quick, easy and pretty simple to make as well, but it does add a really nice finishing touch, and with all 11 cards that we made earlier, it's just perfect to pop them into a little gift box, and then that's nicely presented to somebody. So I'm doing that on all 4 corners, and then these ones can go in, and again you can just match it up to the edge. Like so. And then the next thing that we want to do is, because we want to make sure that this stays as a box, we want to make sure that we're adhering these sections down so that it stays nice and strong and it keeps its shape all the time. So you can just fold that one flat, and again pop on some more sticky strip. I always recommend sticky strip because it's got a much stronger hold than either your Anywhere glue stick or your snail adhesive. Problem is the little red bits do get very static, and sometimes they're not the easiest to get off either, especially on camera. Okay, so that's one side done. Just going to do the other side as well. And if you wanted to stamp on this, I would advise either stamping on it at this stage or when it's completely open. If you're doing a random pattern, then when it's completely open is fine. If you just wanted to make sure that you're getting stamps on these sections, then you could do it when it's closed. The only thing you have to be careful of is any ridges, because obviously we've already folded the cardstock. But if you've scored it all, it's really easy to be able to tell. Another great way of being able to decorating it is just to mat and layer it as well. That always looks great. Now, I find it easier to take off all sections of tape now before I adhere the sides together, because otherwise I keep ripping that one up. Static. Yeah, otherwise it's a little bit more difficult to get off. I normally find it much easier to take the edges off with the paper piercing tool. Okay, when you're just going to adhere it, you're just going to make sure that the edges match yet again. So they go right to the side, like so. And then same on the other side. And there you go, that's our box. That's how simple it really is. So to do the decoration that I've discovered from Kelly, which, like I said, these little ruffles, which I think are super cute. Really, really like these, and it was such an easy technique as well. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. I've taken a 1.5 inch strip by 12 inches, and you want to use your Stampin spritzer with some water. Excuse me. And I'm just going to spray this away from the paper. You just want a light application, you don't really need to soak it at all. And I'm just going to do both at the same time. And then you're just going to do a little fold, so basically like an accordion fold, and it doesn't really matter about how neat you are or how precise you are, you just want to do that all the way along and you're creasing it, and that's what helps to get these really nice ruffles. So do that until you get to the end. Now, to be honest, when I've done this for these type of boxes, I've only used about 9 inches, but I prefer to use the whole 12 because then I've got choice of how many ruffles I want to do. Once you've done the accordion fold, just fan it out a little bit and then just push in some of the valleys. Kelly used a little embossing tool, I think it was, to push hers out, but I'm just going to use my finger, and I'm not being particularly neat about it either. Once you've done that, add a strip of sticky strip to the back, all the way along. And then bringing in the box, you're just going to take it, match it up to the edge, and then you're just going to pinch in to create some more of those ruffles. And you can do this as much or as little as you want to do. It really is down to personal preference, and the more of these you make, the more you'll kind of realise what look you particularly like, but they will all be slightly different. It is actually easier to do this, I think even Kelly mentioned that, when the card is slightly damp, because as it dries it gets really stiff. So once you've done that, you're just going to trim off any excess, like so. And then you're going to finish off, see, that looks really cute, doesn't it? You're going to finish off, you can either finish off with ribbon, like I've done here. I've done a double layer, so I've got pink pirouette and then Whisper White over the top, or you can use a piece of cardstock. And then for the handles, all I did was I cut 1 inch by 12 inch pieces of cardstock in matching, so this is soft suede. I rounded off the edges using the envelope punch board, and then just adhered them like so, and finished it off with a couple of buttons, and that really is pretty much it. Later on I'll probably maybe do a little bit more decoration and add the 5-way flower and punched out at the front, but it does look pretty cute like that as well. So there you go, that's how to make the little box to house all the little cards that we've already made in our one sheet wonders. So if you haven't already checked out project 1, that will show you the one sheet wonder, which is a 12 by 12, and how to make the 11 cards. And then our next project, which is project 3, is how to make the one sheet wonder mini album that's got loads and loads of different tags to add pictures and journaling, you know, whatever you want to kind of do. And it is really super cute, so I look forward to seeing you for that one. If you do want to purchase any of the products that I've used Stampin' Up wise, then you can do so by visiting my blog at www.getcreativewithtraci.co.uk. And if you do want to join our monthly technique class, we'd love to have you along. Just check out the classes and events section on the website. Okay, thanks very much. Bye.